Amara shook her head quickly. "Why would you ask that?" His eyes lifted to hers. "Each time I sleep, I hear crying. Not one voice. Many. Sometimes children. Sometimes women. Every time I wake, I know where my next step must fall." Amara's throat tightened. "Who is telling you where to walk?" Dinta looked toward the dark edge of the village. The ones the village told the earth to swallow. Before dawn, Dinta stood. He did not ask permission. He did not wait for the elders. He began walking toward the western grove, barefoot, each step planting black grass behind him. Amara followed first. Then his mother came from her doorway, wrapped in grief and fear, and followed too. By the time Dinta reached the last houses, half the village was behind them. Some begged him to stop, some prayed aloud, some followed because guilt has legs when truth begins walking. The elders arrived breathless near the grove. Eze Okanu shouted, "If he steps there, none of us will survive what comes out." Dinta stopped and turned. For the first time, anger entered his face. "Then maybe you should have feared the truth when you buried it," he said. "Not now that it is coming up." Then he stepped into the grove. The black grass exploded from the earth. Not in a line now. In circles, in waves, around trees, across roots, through old leaves. The ground rippled like skin trying to shake off a lie. Villagers screamed and stumbled backward as the earth began to open. The western grove had always looked ordinary from a distance. Thick trees, old roots, heavy shade. But as the black grass spread, the grove changed. It looked less like land and more like a mouth forced open after years of being held shut. From beneath roots and stones, objects began to rise. Cloth fragments, beads, brass bangles, broken knives, charms, carved tokens, personal things that families once searched for until searching became too painful. No one rushed forward at first. People were too afraid of what recognition would cost them. Then a woman saw a woven bracelet and cried out. A man saw a carved token and covered his face. Another family fell to the ground beside a piece of cloth they knew too well. The grove had not been cursed because spirits were cruel. It was cursed because people had used it as a place to hide what they did not want named. Dinta dropped to his knees at the center of the black grass. His body trembled. His mother and Amara called his name, but neither could cross the dark ring around him. Then Dinta remembered. 7 years earlier, Dinta had followed antelope tracks into this same grove. But the sound he heard there was not an animal. It was a boy crying. He had seen elders and their men forcing a punishment into the ground. The boy's father had challenged a false land judgment to silence the family. The boy had been taken. Dinta had shouted. He had run to stop them. They chased him. They struck him down. And when he would not promise silence, they buried him too. The memory hit Dinta like thunder returning to the sky. The villagers gasped as the truth left his mouth. His mother began screaming his name, the way she must have screamed it 7 years before, without knowing where to run. "But you came back," she cried. "You came back to me." Dinta looked at her with a broken tenderness. "No, mother," he said softly. "I never came back." The wind rose. The black grass moved around him like hair underwater. "I am only the road the dead used to return." The elders tried to run. The black grass curled around their ankles and held them in place, not violently, but firmly, as if the earth itself had finally chosen to testify. Dinta turned to Eze Okanu. "You buried children." The old man fell to his knees. "We were protecting the village. Dinta's voice hardened. "No! You were protecting yourselves." Then Dinta turned toward his mother. His face changed, not anger first, pain. "Mother, you knew something." The village turned toward her. She shook as if every year of silence had suddenly become a stone on her back. Through tears, she confessed that she had heard whispers after Dinta disappeared. She had seen blood on a man's cloth. She had known the elders were lying. But they warned her that if she spoke, Amara would vanish too. "I wanted to save the child I still had," she cried. Dinta shut his eyes. "I know." That was what broke Obinagu. Not only the hidden objects, not only the grove, not only the elders' crime. It was the sight of a mother who had lost one child to evil and nearly lost her soul trying to protect the other. As sunrise broke over Obinagu, the black grass began to dry. One by one, the dark blades turned gray, then ash. The hold around the elders loosened, but no one ran now. There was nowhere to run from truth once it had stood up in daylight. The villagers dug carefully in the grove. Families finally received what had been denied to them: names, objects, mourning, and proper remembrance. The elders responsible were stripped of title and driven out. Ise Okanu's carved staff was broken and left at the edge of the grove. In the center of the western grove, the people built a memorial of stone and ironwood. They carved no lies into it, only names, symbols, and one warning. The earth does not forget what people bury inside it. Dinta looked at his mother one last time. Then he smiled at Amara, small and tired, like someone who had carried a message across death and finally delivered it. When the first full light touched him, his body softened into black grass and dust. He did not scream. He did not fight. He sank into the earth quietly, as though returning something borrowed. For many years afterward, nothing grew in the grove except one dark patch of grass at the center. The villagers never cut it. They called it the grass that remembers. And in Obinagu, elders taught children a new proverb. If you bury the truth, watch the ground carefully. One day, it may begin to grow.